Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Smackdown Ring Report. We got a lot of important news to get to coming up from the Pro Wrestling Show as Paul Heyman explains his actions on why he did what he did, screwing Brock Lesnar once again. Him and Roman Reigns screwed Brock Lesnar out the WWE title, cost Brock Lesnar his goal to get the champion versus champion before his big account of WrestleMania. Paul Heyman explains also well as a returning legend comes back to confront Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns don't like that one bit. Also, too, Ronda Rousey, on the heels of her big win at Royal Rumble, she gets to choose her WrestleMania opponent. Ronda Rousey got some scores to settle. We should be settling with the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte. We'll get to that. Also, too, Drew McIntyre came back at Royal Rumble as well. Drew wants to get revenge on Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. Will he do so? On time to tell. You gotta wait and see. It's the Pro Wrestling Show. Starts right now. Hello, everyone. This is Kendrick Dix here for your Pro Wrestling Show right here on Connect TV. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. We got a lot to get to, but first thing first, join in that conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribers can. Tell a friend, call a friend, and just subscribe button. You won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to what's going on. SmackDown started with Universal Champion Roman Reigns, along with his flanked by the council, Paul Heyman, who's back reunited with Roman Reigns after they did the screw job to Brock Lesnar. I knew they weren't gonna last. Heyman was gonna turn on Lesnar, make it even more obvious. Well, Paul Heyman said he told Roman the truth. Roman didn't want to hear it, but now he's saying the reverse, saying that he's protecting Brock Lesnar from Roman Reigns. But that statement right there, sometimes it's kind of glorifying, but at the end, it's like, come on now, Paul. We know that Brock Lesnar is going to beat Roman Reigns alive. And Brock Lesnar is going to be giving him the beating of a lifetime. I don't know why Paul Heyman just don't know what title he on. Anybody who got a world title. He downplayed Brock about Brock just want to be farming. That's Brock Lesnar. But at the end, you can't deny Brock Lesnar is impressive 104. Can't deny it. Well, we know that Roman has his sights set on somebody else. Roman Reigns get confronted by Goldberg. These two were supposed to have a match at WrestleMania 2 years ago. That didn't come to fruition. The COVID procedure, when all this COVID protocol happened. Now we finally get it at Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia. Roman Reigns defending the Universal title. Okay. Goldberg, first time ever, like I said, Roman Goldberg, spear versus spear. Who's gonna come out top? Is obvious. It's been rumored that Goldberg was coming back sooner rather than later. We was talking about this whole week yesterday. That Goldberg was the opponent. And he's coming imminently. And Goldberg didn't waste no time. We knew Goldberg had to come some form or fashion. Now Goldberg meets Roman one-on-one at Elimination Chamber. And Goldberg's hand, hey, you're next. And we'll see. Goldberg versus Roman. At the Elimination Chamber, one-on-one. It's gonna be a barn burner, I'll tell you that. Right now. Tell you that right now. That's gonna be a barn burner. Goldberg and Roman Reigns. But he just get Roman someone to feud with until he have his upcoming match against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Now they're talking about rumors and reports now that Brock Lesnar could win the Elimination Chamber match and regain the WWE title. Him and Roman clash at WrestleMania, title for title. Everybody liking the opponent that Brock could leave as the undisputed WWE champion. Look at that. Done it before. One time with Peril. Brock. Then you look at Brock has a new lease on life. Brock is more comfortable in his own skin. And you wouldn't want to see that. Look for that coming down the road. Also, too, Natalya went against Aaliyah. Natalya getting tired of being humiliated and embarrassed by Aaliyah week after week. We know they had that little match at Raw, a little segment match in the Royal Rumble women's match. But Natalya lost to Aaliyah once again. We'll count. That can never get a break. Well, we know next week, Natalya versus Aaliyah. Natalya's own rule set. And Heart Dungeon rules. So, count out. You just have to be pinfall submission to win the match. They'll find a way to Aaliyah to win that match. That was a good segment. Also, too, Shinsuke Nakamura defending the Intercontinental Championship against Jinder Mahal in a quick match. We know that next week he'll go against Sami Zayn in 2 weeks for the Intercontinental title. You got to wonder what Sami Zayn's role going to be with the Jackass crew, John Knoxville and his crew. If Sami Zayn win the Intercontinental title, and they had to wonder would Johnny Knoxville get a championship match? Because Sami Zayn want to get revenge on Knoxville some way, somehow. And Natalya did make the match with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville played a crucial part as well. We told you earlier, Natalya will get her match against Aaliyah next week. Also, too, Sheamus and Ridge Holland continue to be a dominant team. Ridge Holland went against Ricochet. Ricochet pinned Ridge Holland in a quick one. Then they led to a tag team match where the team went against Ricochet and Cesaro. They won the match all over. Also, too, Drew McIntyre returned to SmackDown since day one. Drew McIntyre looking to get his revenge. We got the wrong one. But he was looking to get revenge on Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. He wanted Madcap Moss to tell him a joke. Madcap Moss really was afraid and frightened. He told a joke, but that didn't sit well with Drew, and Drew Claymore kicked him. So now we know that Madcap Moss will go against Drew one-on-one on the Elimination Chamber. It's just like every time they do repeats of these matches and stuff. I mean, come on. I mean, they need to change it up. I guess they're saving Happy Corbin versus Drew at WrestleMania. That's what it seemed like. So look for that. Also, too, Naomi having her issues with Sonya Deville after these two women got involved in the Royal Rumble. Naomi eliminated Sonya Deville. Naomi will get her chance next week on SmackDown when she takes on Charlotte one-on-one for the women's championship. That should be a good one. Naomi and Charlotte next week for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. So that should be a match that's live. So Charlotte got a lot on her plate too. We'll get to that later. Speaking of the bloodline, really you got Roman, you got the Usos coming forward and stuff. The Usos got their own problems as well. When I mean the Usos got their own problems, the Usos got their own problems. They feuding with the Viking Raiders. The Usos screwed the Viking Raiders out of victory, so the Usos getting that win. We know the Usos and the Viking Raiders will meet for the SmackDown Tag Team titles at Elimination Chamber. Trying to see what else happened. We talked about Goldberg returning. They go against Roman. We talked about that. And then finally was the piece of resistance as Ronda Rousey. You see right here, Ronda Rousey makes her first appearance on SmackDown. Ronda Rousey did not disappoint, and Ronda Rousey was supposed to come out there and make her WrestleMania announcement till she got interrupted by Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair came out there and talked about her accomplishments and talked about this and that. And Ronda said she owed Charlotte a receipt, and Charlotte and Ronda chose Charlotte as her WrestleMania opponent, and it will happen. You have to believe that's the main event for night one on Saturday, April 2nd. Charlotte Flair defends her SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey. These two women met at WrestleMania, 3 years ago, and what a classic with Becky Lynch. But this time at WrestleMania, they want to save Ronda and Becky Lynch for WrestleMania next year. But this WrestleMania in Dallas is gonna mean something too. Ronda Rousey finally get her hands on Charlotte Flair, and we get to see Ronda Rousey perform her move, and she did. She gets the challenge, but WWE official Sonya Deville tried to stop it and tried to prevent Ronda from not doing what she did. Well, Ronda decided to take matters in her own hand and and try to make Sonya Deville tap out. Ronda Rousey trained on Charlotte. This is one of the pieces of the puzzle. Ronda Rousey will get her revenge. She signed a year contract. I mean, Ronda Rousey, to me, she's more compelling. When you look at, she's a compelling person. Like, she's, a lot of people saying she don't know how to sell, but she is compelling, but just being herself. And that's what I like about Ronda Rousey. She's just being herself. She ain't trying to kiss nobody butt or nothing like that. Ronda Rousey looking to play and looking to fight, and she's gonna get a fight in her hands against Charlotte Flair. This is gonna be really a competitive matchup between these two women, and these two women will meet at WrestleMania in Dallas for the SmackDown Women's title. And you can guarantee and bet that Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair will main event night one of WrestleMania that Saturday. And Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns will main event night two. You got to believe the MMA fighters are in the world. Brock Lesnar will main event WrestleMania that day, night two, against Roman Reigns. We don't know yet if it's title for title. We only have to wait at Elimination Chamber within 2 weeks from now that if Brock Lesnar can get the WWE title back and making it a title for title and you have to wonder, is it going to be, they're going to collect those belts and call it the undisputed WWE title, as well as Ronda Rousey going against Charlotte Flair night one at WrestleMania. We will have coverage for the Pro Wrestling Show for Predict the Outcome for WrestleMania for night one and night two of the event on that Friday. What we'll have on that weekend, I know that, for night one and night two, separate ones, and we'll have Elimination Chamber as Roman Reigns prepared to defend his championship against Goldberg, the mighty Goldberg. This could be Goldberg's last match, and what a way to end it. Could Goldberg end his WWE career defeating Roman Reigns, or will Roman Reigns cap a 9 on his hat and add Goldberg to the list of opponents that he has defeated? So For me being Kendrick, we're going to leave you with Ronda Rousey putting the armbar on WWE official Sonya Deville. What consequences that's going to lead to, as well as Charlotte Flair and her will be the WrestleMania main event coming forward. So thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long, and we'll see you for next week on another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.